What's up,
Now, guys?
guys?
I'm John,
And I'm Angie.
and this is
Discussions
Discussions
with
with
Yiangie.
Yiangie.
Welcome back to episode number 5, guys. 5 episodes strong.
Jeez.
Damn. I don't know
Yep.
if I can say that word, but damn.
Yeah.
So today we have an episode that is jam-packed, full of topics.
Stories and getting to know Angie a little bit more.
A little bit more because in one of the episodes, I believe it was on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I dived into a little bit about my past, but not too much. So some of you guys have requested that you wanted to know a little bit more about me. So that is why this episode is starting off with a little get to know me. So, guys, I am currently 26 years old. But growing up, I don't want to say like I had a rough childhood because I mean, it wasn't really rough, but it's a crazy one. So, at the age of 7 months old, my mom, I don't know how to say it nicely, but she kind of gave me up, and I ended up with my father's mother, so my paternal grandmother, at the age of 7 months. So then, I mean, my grandma's life just kind of really turned upside down because now growing up and being like older, she's told me that at around that age that I had moved, like gone with her, that she took me in, she was planning on moving out of the country, out of like, I think she said either to California, to the States, or to back to her home country of Guatemala. So that's kind of like, it's kind of hard to hear because in your mind you kind of think like, oh, because she had me, she kind of had to stop her plans. But I'm truly grateful that she raised me. But yeah, we grew up. I was with her when I was 7 months, and then it was just constant back and forth. I remember with my mother. According to my grandmother, my mom would vandalize her property a lot. My grandma used to have a really nice Mustang, and we just woke up one day because she was going to take me to school, and my grandma couldn't drive it because there was flour, I want to say. I don't remember too much, but there was like flour in the engine, and then like written on the side, it was like the B word. I'm not going to say it, but it was the B word.
Beautiful.
It was a little bit not as nice as beautiful. But yeah, so that happened growing up. Like, I remember I would go to my mom's house on the weekends, and my grandma would buy me like really nice jewelry because at this time my grandma had her own business, and she would buy me really nice jewelry, and she would make me really nice clothes, so it'd be like unique clothing. And I would go to my mother's house, and apparently I would come back without the nice jewelry that she's gotten me, and the really nice unique clothes that my grandmother would make me wouldn't come back. Now this, of course, I don't remember because I was really really young. But yeah, and also from what my grandma would tell me is I would go to my mother's house, and then every time I would come home I would be really sick to the point where I would need to go to the hospital.
Do you remember anything? Any, like, when you're in that moment, you kind of like feel it. You weren't. How old were you? Or like still 7 months or?
No, I had to be like, I was younger than 7 years old, but I was older than 7 months. I don't quite remember because I feel like I've kind of suppressed a lot of those memories. Like, they kind of like left my head because of everything that happened. But yeah, I don't really remember. I do remember one time I was in my room and I had like this really 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 bad stomach pain. But like, usually people, anything that's bad, they kind of like hide it in their mind. So I didn't really like think about it as much.
But was it because your mother did not have food, or because she made it like seem like it like that?
To be honest, I am not too sure. I do remember there was talks a lot about like my mom partying. So she maybe like, and I can't confirm 100%, but
Yeah,
probably she'd rather, spend that money on
partying.
partying than on having food, because at this point it was just me and my sister and my one of my younger brothers, and we were all like, we weren't really with her.
Yeah,
My younger brother, he would be with his dad, I would be with my grandma, and my sister would be with our maternal grandmother.
yeah,
So like she didn't really have too much to worry about in the sense of getting food. So when we would go visit her, I guess she didn't have much food. But yeah,
interesting.
so that all happened, and then finally at the age of I want to say I was 6, turning 7. It was around the summertime. My grandma decided, enough was enough with everything, because at this time also my mother was accusing my grandmother of kidnapping me. So my grandma was like, you know what, enough is enough. We're moving. So I was born in Toronto. So we ended up moving, yeah, around 4 hours away to Ottawa. That was around, yeah, I was 6, turning 7, because I remember I had my 7th birthday in Ottawa. So my at the time my grandmother had a friend, like a really close friend that was living in Ottawa, so we went to go visit her, and then we ended up staying. And then at this point, my grandma kind of lost everything she had. She left the house to my aunt and my dad, and we kind of just up and left. She didn't have any sewing machines, nothing to like continue her business, so she kind of started from scratch as well. The only thing that we had was like a station wagon, like a car station wagon, like you remember those old station wagons from like the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had one of those, that we literally filled up with as much stuff as we could, and we drove to Ottawa. Then shortly after that, I think my grandmother and her friend had like a disagreement or something, but we had to move out. Or either that, or my grandma just didn't want to stay in someone else's house.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to a shelter, but the shelter that was closest to like the area that we were able to get into was full. So instead of like them turning us to the streets, luckily there was like a motel across the street, which they sent us there. And then at this time, the station wagon had actually broken down. I'm going ahead of myself. So from the time that we moved to Ottawa to the time that we went to the motel, the shelter motel, we would have to go back and forth all the time to Toronto, because my grandmother had to go to like some custody court to gain like full custody of me, because at this point it was kind of like a joint custody type of thing,
With her
but
mother.
yeah, with my mother. But apparently there would be a lot of times when my mother wouldn't show up, so they just gave my grandmother custody, which my mom really did not like. So hence she continued to accuse my grandmother of kidnapping me and whatnot. Craziness. So yeah, so around, I would probably say around after the time that she gained full custody of me, shortly after, the station wagon broke down, so we had absolutely no method of transportation other than taking the bus. Luckily, the motel that we were staying at was like walking distance from a mall and like some shops. Like it wasn't in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, and then shortly after that, we stayed there, I want to say maybe for about maybe about like 2 3 months. Like it was really quick, because my grandmother had to go on social assistance. We were able to get like an apartment that's subsidized, so we wouldn't have to pay as much rent as we do usually. So we moved really quickly, which was like really good. It was very fortunate that we were able to move real quickly. And then I want to say around a year, maybe 2 years after we moved, we were in a car accident, which left my grandmother half paralyzed. She had Bell's palsy, which was really hard because at this point I was like 8, 9 years old, and my grandma was not able to do anything, so I had to help cook, clean, do laundry. I had to help all of this, um, which
Did you say eat?
no, cook, clean,
Oh, I
do
heard
laundry.
eat in my mind. I'm like, of course he ate.
So like my grandmother, she would have someone come help clean, but I remember this lady, she was like really old and she really did not want to do anything. She would just go there, vacuum a little bit, and then leave and get her paycheck for the day. So it ended up, being mostly me that would have to do the things. And yeah, it was actually for an 8 or 9 year old person to
You had
have
to
to step up and do all that,
and grow up early,
grow up really quickly. It's
like a movie.
Yeah, it really is like a movie, and it's really really difficult, but in a way it's kind of shaped me to who I am today. And kind of at this, like, the same time that all this was happening, I was also getting bullied in school. So not only was it really hard for me at home having to grow up and do all this, so Yan just went to help our daughter. But as I was saying, at the same time, it was really hard for me. It it was really hard for me to have to grow up and do everything at home, and also deal with the bullying at school. Usually the bullying at school would happen because of my past. I remember they would always say, like, my mother didn't want me and all of that. Like, it really, really mean stuff. And also at the same time, my grandmother and my father did not have the best relationship, uh, because of his past as well, with all the partying and all of that stuff. Um, so they would also kind of bring all of that in to the bullying, and that happened from when I was probably in grade 5 to grade 6. Like, it did last only 2 years, but it was like a lot having to deal with both things simultaneously. And quick intermission from Yan. But yeah, so it was really hard to having to deal with both of those things simultaneously. And I mean, seeing my grandma not get any better for a few years was, it was kind of scary. Um, they didn't think that she would ever recover from it. So they were saying, like, she was gonna have partial, like, her whole half, like her whole right half was paralyzed, like her eye, her mouth, she couldn't speak properly, her arm, her legs, like she was partially paralyzed. And yeah,
Turn it up.
she ended up going to acupuncture, which is actually what helped her the most, as well as like all the medication that she had to take. But she is better now. She got better, I think, I want to say maybe, well, she's not 100% better, but she is a lot better. She's not able to focus too much on a certain thing because her face will, like, hurt, and it will swell up and kind of get semi paralyzed and like kind of fall, like feel like it's like sleeping. But like at this point, when she had Bell's palsy, and even when she got better, she wasn't able to work. So it was like really difficult. She would be on like disability. When you're on that type of social assistance, like, funds are limited. So we would have to go to like food banks and all that. So it made it really hard to have a lot of food at home, especially for someone who's growing and usually a lot of people when they're growing, they eat a little bit more. So it was hard. There would be some days when I would have to go to school without breakfast or lunch. Luckily, the school I went to did have a breakfast program, so I would have at least like a bagel. But yeah, that's kind
How,
of helped me shape
through elementary.
through elementary, yeah. And then through middle school and high school, it got kind of better because I knew a little bit more what was going on. I understood. So yeah, that.
Well, I believe you understood what was going on because a person that young had to like grow up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. So yeah.
Yeah. And then. Yeah, so that kind of happened through all like until I finished high school. And then when I was 17, I decided to move back to Toronto. In my eyes, to pursue acting, which unfortunately didn't happen.
At that time.
At that time, there was a whole issue with the roommate I had at the time. I'm not gonna get into that right now.
Yeah. That's another story.
That's a whole other story, guys. My life is
a podcast.
It's something. But yeah, that is a little bit about me and my past and how I grew up.
Yeah. I want to give it up to my fiance, my wife, if I can call you, obviously.
Yeah.
My wife. She is truly a soldier and trooper. I give her props for that. I did not know some of the stuff that she told you, so this is the first time I'm hearing it. But I am super happy that she is healthy. She is well. She is looking like a snack. And she is a wonderful wife, a wonderful partner, and a wonderful mother now. And she did that. Shout out to her grandma, my suegra. We both love you, and thank you for all that you did for her. And thank you for everything that you do still, because you are still part of the life of her and your granddaughter, and of course me. Thank you. But yeah, let's move to the next topic.
On to the next, which a whole lot cheerful, a whole lot more cheerful.
She's tearful. She's tearful.
I can't speak. Yeah, but this is a whole lot more cheerful, and because I spent that whole time talking, you can take it away.
All right, so let's see which one.
It is Acapulco, the TV show.
Guys, let's start by saying that I'm one of those guys that is like picky. I have
very picky when it comes to what he wants to watch.
Anything, food,
yeah.
Water, clothes, like you name it. I'm like a girl practically in a guy's body. Let's just
a little bit
like
worse than some girls.
Yeah. So Acapulco is an Apple TV series. So let's start from there. So if you don't have it or you didn't have it, you know where to find it. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah.
Or even if you have Apple TV but you've never came across it or never thought of watching it, I would definitely recommend it.
I thought I was talking.
Sorry.
She loves talking too. See, I don't make her talk. But yeah, obviously it's our podcast. So I think it was we randomly just went searching, no?
Yeah, so we had gotten the free trial because we wanted to see,
if we liked it or not.
Yeah. So then we came across.
Yeah.
We came across Acapulco and what's Shrinking, or something like that. The one with
Marshall from How I Met Your Mother.
Jason Segel, I think it's his name, his actual name.
Marshall.
So yeah, we came across those two shows. The Shrinking we didn't really like too much.
It was okay because he made it worth it, but the second season was just okay, no.
Yeah. But then we watched Acapulco, and I knew, of course, the main guy, because he's a Mexican actor.
And she's 25% Mexican.
Yeah, I am 25% Mexican, and I grew up watching like
Novelas.
no, he wasn't a novela actor.
Oh, okay.
He's a comedian. So I grew up watching if you guys know La Familia Peluche, he was like the creator, he was the main person of that show.
Yeah.
And for those of you who do know, the actor is Eugenio Derbez. Um, so as soon as I seen that, I'm like, oh, we have to at least give it a try.
Yeah.
And Yan was like, I don't know. It doesn't look like the type of stuff that I'm gonna like. No?
Because it looked like the 80s vibe and it looked like a vintage movie, but the way that they did it was such a storytelling, and the romance comedy and the people and the actors, and I it like gave me fun because it was a storytelling that I liked the way that they did it. And then also, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the two main characters, I think, no, that when they were young at the story,
Yeah.
they like that kind of romance. Remember I told you I like
Yeah.
that, and I was
It's kind of like a high school type of thing, like a guy likes a girl and a girl likes a guy, but they don't say anything
Yeah.
to each other. And also, without spoiling, like the way that Yan is saying, like the storytelling, the way that it is, it's Eugenio Derbez, so the main actor, the older guy, he is telling his nephew the story about his past.
yes,
And it kind of goes like into flashback mode, but not really flashback mode. And it shows like what the guy, like the older person, is talking about. So it's really good.
yeah, and we liked it from the beginning, and we enjoyed it. We saw season 1, 2, and 3, and hopefully there's gonna be a fourth one. Doesn't look too good, but for what it was such a good season, like series, and I give it like all its apples and flowers and stars that it needs. Um, yeah, so that was like mind blowing. I would definitely recommend it to anybody that wants to see that kind of movie, like series. That it was just wow. It's still one of my favorite series, and I haven't like had a favorite series in a long time.
Yeah. It for me, it's up there. It definitely, I don't think it beats American Horror Story for me. But I would say it's easily close second.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh.
And it's been hard to find like a series like that or another series that we like as much as that.
Yeah. We recently went, this is not part of the topic, but I would say there was another show that we saw recently in Apple TV again that was called Dark Matter.
Oh, Dark Matter. Yeah, Dark
Yeah.
Matter is good.
That was a limited series, but it's
Was
so
it Apple
good.
or wasn't it Prime?
That was Apple.
Apple? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Apple. So it was so good, and yeah.
Another series I want to check out, again, not part of the podcast, is Presumed Innocent. So if you guys have seen it, let me know or let us know if it's good down in the comment section, if there's a comment section, or
Who's in it?
DM us. Jake Gyllenhaal? Remember the guy that we saw the criminal?
Okay.
I think he was in that one, and the one where he's like the 911 caller, and there's like the lady and the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Okay.
He's in that one.
Okay. All right, guys. But if you guys want to see, if you haven't seen the series, you guys are definitely missing out on a good series. So I would definitely check it out now.
Yeah, for sure. 100% recommend. Okay, so next.
Oh, what's new?
What is new, guys? Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Guys, we have now on our summer vibes, we have bikinis, we have tank tops, no?
But you didn't even say.
Oh, for
We have merch, guys.
merch.
He
Well,
got
they know.
He got a little ahead of himself because he is excited. We have merch. I don't think they know on our podcast. They know on our page.
Guys, my bad. My bad. I forgot. Yes, because there's so much content that we do. It's just. So, for those people that are new on the podcast and the people that have not seen it yet, we have merch, Yiangie merch, our first volume since probably I'd say last year.
Yeah.
But with growing, we had to switch manufacturers and stuff like that. But not interesting stuff, but things that you have to do in a business, and for the best of the quality, the customers, the price, and everything.
Yeah.
And you guys deserve the best.
Yeah.
So we're still working on it, but there's a lot of stuff that we have now that we didn't have then.
Yeah. And also we do have a discussions with Yiangie section. So we have what we have. We have
Poster,
a poster. We
a
have
bag.
a mug, a bag.
Like the, what's it called? For like to like gym bag or like
Oh, like a
luggage.
duffel bag or a tote bag?
Yeah.
And we have a candle.
A candle. We probably have like pretty much anything. Like if you guys request it, we probably could get it.
Yes.
So it's on our website. It's literally on our YouTube channel. We'll probably send a link, or on our TikToks or Instagram.
Yeah, it's on our Instagram. It's on my TikTok.
Yeah, and it has a TikTok too. TikTok and Instagram channel. So guys, make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Discussions with Yiangie.
Yes. So.
And subscribe to this channel as well. And to the people that are hearing us by audio, make sure to rate it. No.
Rate it and follow it. So that you're notified whenever we post a new episode. Yeah.
I would say how you guys did last time, but I honestly did not check the analytics for the last episode. Did you?
I did not.
No. So I'm pretty sure you guys killed it again, like you guys did the first 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so I also wanted to talk about the merch. The merch is gonna grow because it's like right now it's first volume, and there's gonna be so many other volumes, but we're planning on moving partially to the second volume. But we want to have like something different now.
Yeah.
Because first it was the crown, the heart, and the roses.
Yes.
That meant a lot because obviously it is like loyalty, royalty, because that is what represents me, Angie, and our daughter as a family bond.
Yeah.
And what makes us the community strong. If you guys hear our daughter by any chance on the camera or on the audio, sorry, but we have a daughter and she's watching her tunes. She's trying to be as quiet as she can, but kids. So
She's actually being very good.
Yeah. So what do you think you like most about merch? If you had to say something quick.
Like about our merch or just merch in general?
Yeah. Our merch.
Our merch, I love how we have, at least now, we have so many different options of merch.
Yeah.
We're very versatile. We have anything from school backpacks to candles to posters to sweaters to joggers to bikinis.
And guys, the only reason why we're not wearing them or have them with us right now is because literally our closet is full of clothes and clothes and clothes. Imagine if we had extra from our brand. Like obviously we have our sweaters, which that's how we started, and we were so proud of that. But now we have so much. We're like, as soon as with the moving, that's gonna be another different topic. We're gonna have more space, more stuff. So like, I'm excited for that too. What about you?
I'm so excited, and especially now with like our other volumes, we're gonna be expanding even more. So I'm so excited. But yeah, guys, our closet honestly really full. We took out like 3 or 4 bags of clothes that we no longer want, and our closet is still packed.
And laundry is still like stacked to like 2 whole laundry baskets, and like, so it's another whole issue.
Craziness.
Anyways, with that being said, there is one more
thing that is new.
What?
And you didn't talk about it, which I thought you were going to, but we do have a new channel. We have 2 new podcasts coming.
Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna talk about that in the it's episode's next episode, but
Oh,
okay.
do you want to? We should. 1, 2. Oh, yeah. No, I'll save it for the next one.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Okay.
Let's just...
Pretend it never
Anyways,
happened.
what about the summer talk of the day?
Ooh,
Do you
guys.
anybody that likes Starbucks
If you guys like Starbucks, let us know by giving this podcast a thumbs up
or rating it 5?
or rating it a 5 stars. If you guys love Starbucks, now we had this list. We wanted to do this episode a lot sooner, but because of my injury, we kind of had to put off.
And just life.
And life, yeah. But Starbucks has, I don't know if they're still selling it.
I think they're not as... It's because it's August already, so...
Yeah, so they're bringing in their fall stuff. But for the summer, they brought in their new Starbucks summer berry refreshers. Now, I don't want to say like just one in specific because they did bring 3.
Whew.
Our favorite is
Was
the
the
lemonade
lemonade,
one.
yeah.
Because, I mean, it's lemonade. I love anything sour. So this mixed with the sourness of the lemonade, absolutely amazing. I mean, when it comes to refreshers, I get lemonade either way, like the mango, the dragon fruit one, lemonade, everything lemonade.
Every single time we were going to do a video about it on YouTube, we kept on drinking. We literally ordered it like 2 or 3 times, no?
Yeah.
Like, and we're like, oh, this is never going to happen.
Yeah.
It was just too good. Like, like we forget and stuff.
Yeah, so they have the lemonade one. They have just the regular refresher, which is water based,
And then
they have
coconut.
I think it was called this. I think they changed the name to like a summer breeze or sunny summer sky, something like that, which was made with coconut milk.
Yeah.
Because they did change the name a little bit for each of them.
Yeah.
So I personally am not a fan of coconut milk. So
Unless it's
we
in a
didn't try-
coconut tropical that we're in the beach,
I've actually never tried coconut just like that, so I don't know. But we did try one of the Starbucks drinks with coconut milk once, and it was not my favorite. So I decided to just stick with the lemonade one, the one that I know and love.
Yeah.
But this drink is like Starbucks equivalent to a bubble tea, which I love bubble tea.
Fanatic.
If I could have it every day, I would. I love bubble tea. So, but like Starbucks made their drink like, well, I don't want to say like too different because I know there's some bubble tea places that do have like the popping, like
Yeah.
pearls.
Yeah.
So, because I've tried one from the bubble tea place that we go to. So like I don't want to say like it's completely different because they've done it, but it was like a blue raspberry flavored drink. If you guys have like, if you're not Starbucks fans and you've never tasted it or anything, I'm trying to explain it for you guys. So it's like a blue raspberry drink with raspberry flavored popping pearls. I want to say without saying like the other word.
Yeah.
But like they're like little circular pearls that are filled with raspberry flavored, and oh my gosh, absolutely delicious. I hope they bring it back next year, which I'm pretty sure they will because I'm pretty sure it was pretty popular.
Yeah.
And usually if it's popular, they do bring it back.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they do bring it back because that was amazing. It tasted really, really good.
So Starbucks, bring it back.
Bring it back next year, Starbucks. Come on.
All right, so this podcast doesn't go on, and you guys,
And so I don't rant about how much I love that Starbucks drink.
yeah,
We're going to move on to the next.
the final but not least topic.
Yes. So, guys, this is something that I am so excited about. And we are going to be doing a little Am I the A-hole session for you guys. So we have 2 stories. And what was that?
It's supposed to be like the pop-up screen.
But they're not going to be able to see it on the audio version.
That's why you have to go and subscribe to the YouTube version.
guys.
You only see our shenanigans there because we have to update them on Facebook. We might,
Yeah.
move it.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, we are going to be doing a session of Am I the A-hole? Now, guys, I want to say I'm like a Reddit queen. I love me some Reddit. And I don't know how, but Am I the A-hole pages pop up all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Somehow. Just
somehow, I don't know. I'm innocent here. Uh, so, I have two. Well, I'm going to do two this episode of Am I the A-hole? Yan has never seen, read, done anything with these. So he's going to give his raw reaction with you guys. So what on earth was that?
I don't know.
Guys, if you're just listening to the podcast on our audio versions,
Again, go subscribe to YouTube.
yeah, go subscribe to our YouTube because Yan just did the most terrifying face.
Okay.
Okay, but anyways, so as I was saying, Yan has never seen, never heard, never read any of these Am I the A-hole posts that I saved. So he's going to give you his raw reaction with you guys. And I want you guys, if there is a comment section where you guys are watching or listening to, comment down below as well if you think this person is an a-hole, if this person is not an a-hole. Give us your opinion. Okay? So the first one, the title is, would I be the a-hole for filling in a man-made pond against some neighbor's wishes? Okay, I'm going to bring up the Reddit post. Okay, so here's the story. For the past several years, I've owned a property in a semi-rural area. It is part of an HOA with only 12 houses over 1,000 acres. So we don't get much in each other's way. There is a common area, and common is in quotation marks, a common area that abuts my property. On it, there is a pond, again in quotation marks, a pond that is fed via an irrigation headgate on a creek on my property and a cut that runs from it through my property. I've come to discover this pond is a real pain. Wow. One neighbor used to maintain it without making a fuss, but he passed away. So dealing with it fell to me as the neighbor most affected by it, and it's a pain. People trespass to go fishing or have their dogs swim in it. People from outside have come to ice skate on it, totally not safe. It has silting problems. The headgate needs to be dug out every spring, sometimes multiple times. The cut clogs up and has to be cleared. Then a beaver took up residence and kept blocking the outflow culverts, causing a flood on neighboring farmers' land. He was rightly pissed, and I got the brunt of it. I was clearing out beaver blockages several days a week. Nobody else in the HOA would help. I did some research and discovered that the water right for the headgate belonged to me alone and not the association. Whoops. There was no easement for the irrigation cut, and cherry on the Sunday, the pond is actually on my property and not common area. Had a survey done just to be sure. I also discovered it wasn't really a pond. It was a hole dug up to provide fill for our road, and the original developer just routed irrigation into the hole and called it a pond. But this explains why it is such a mess. A landowner a mile away is now digging out a proper pond, and he has to pay a ton to dispose of the fill, even though it is clean. I asked if it would help if he could put some of the fill in our pond, and he offered to pay for the privilege. I have closed the head gate and started draining the pond. Some members of the HOA have been yelling at me that they like the pond just to look at as they drive out to the main road. So I said, okay, if you like it, pay up 10K a year for someone to deal with the nonsense. They refused. I said that in that case, the pond is getting filled in and planted with native grass. Using the money from taking the fill, they call me a selfish a-hole. Am I? There's an
Update.
I'll give the update after. So what do you think? Do you think the person is an a-hole or is not an a-hole?
Well, literally, it was a neighbor, right? It's backyard, right? Or like around the area.
No, so the pond, because like we heard, it's just a hole
Yeah.
that was dug up. It's actually on his property. Well, on this person's property. It's not in a neighbor's property. It's on his property. He had like the city come in and measure
Yeah,
his
yeah.
property to make sure it was, and it was 100% on his property only.
Okay. So I would say, to me, it's not that they're an a-hole. It's just I would be annoyed as well if there was honestly people coming, you know,
Yeah.
thinking that it's like, okay, like just because you have access to it doesn't mean you can trespass my like property.
Yeah.
So
So you're going with not the a-hole?
no, they're not. And if they are an a-hole, it's not like 100%. Like I would say max 20% or 10% because they could let the people come in, but that's up to them, right? Like
Yeah.
there's people that
Well, there is
that don't mind
also,
that.
yeah, but there is also, from what he said, there's people that are coming in to skate on this, and he said it's very unsafe. So if anything happens to them and it's on his property,
Something can happen.
it ends up being his fault and his liability.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with he's not an a-hole
me either.
because, like he said, or like I read. Okay, so like I said, I'm going with not an a-hole because it is on his property, 100%. Like he had people come in and measure it. It's completely on his property. It's unsafe. He's having like dogs come swim in there. Like you don't know if they're like pooping on his property as well.
Wow.
Like you don't know what is going on. So because it is on his property, it's technically his property. He can do whatever he wants. And people from the neighborhood, if they don't want to help maintain it,
Yeah,
he can do whatever he wants with it.
yeah,
So I'm going with not the a-hole.
yeah.
So let's read the update. So, oh, and by the way, the people of Reddit have named him, the person, not an a-hole. So they all agree he's not an a-hole.
Okay.
And then the update. I already met with a beaver expert from Fish and Wildlife. They would have given me a nuisance permit to trap, but I wanted to try an exclusion fence. Nobody else wanted to pay for that. Experts said that if we lower pond, beaver will probably just move back to the creek. We do have fish in the pond, but it isn't deep enough to support underwintering. So the actual sustained fish population is in the creek. Finally, I did speak to the local conservation district about a permit to drain. They said it should not be an issue as they don't love these fake ponds and would prefer the water to stay in the creek to support higher stream flow.
Damn.
So yeah, this guy is definitely not an a-hole.
Yeah, he just wanted to like do what's best for the city, the community, and him and the people
Yeah.
and the fishes.
Yeah. Plus, it's also not safe. Like, if this guy is not maintaining it and he's not cleaning it out, especially if the beaver's there like every week or so, that can easily go into like his house and cause water damage on his house or his property.
Yeah.
So yeah, not an a-hole.
All right, that was the first of 2 stories. No.
Yes, the first of 2. So the next one is titled, Am I the a-hole for kicking out my friend and his girlfriend during our wedding? some juicy stuff. Okay.
Kicking out on my wedding, like on their wedding.
Oh, it's been removed. Okay.
No. All right,
So
guys. So
so that post has been removed, so I'm going to take one from the list that I had here. So, and I also want to say, guys, I haven't read these either. I just looked at the title, and if I thought it was interesting, I saved it. So, we're reading this as well. The next one, let's do. Would I be the a hole for scaring a struggling single mother into paying me? That already sounds like an a hole, but let's hear the whole story.
okay.
Ready? So, this says, I, 20 female, had a medical situation arise 2 weeks prior to a music festival that I had been planning to attend. I posted my 2 tickets for sale on Facebook, and a mutual friend reached out saying she wanted to purchase them. Let's call her L, 19 female. Some background info. Elle got pregnant in high school and now has a 4-year-old. I had attended 2 school dances with her friend group years prior, so I knew who she was and I sorta considered her to be a friend. She came from a good family, we had plenty of mutuals, and I felt she was a nice girl from the interactions that we had. I originally purchased my tickets for $600, but since I was selling them sorta last minute, I posted them for $450. Elle originally said she'd love to go, but she was recently diagnosed with diabetes and had medical pills to pay. She asked if I'd accept 300 if no one else bought them. I wanted someone to get the opportunity to go to this festival even if I couldn't, so I agreed. And then in brackets says this means I'd only get 50% of what I originally paid for the tickets, not including hotel and parking. This event had wristband tickets, so Elle arrived at my house to pick up the wristbands the following Monday. She asked to pay in 2 to 3 installments because she needs to take care of her kid and had medical bills that she needed to be paid off. I told her that was fine. And she asked, would it be alright if I gave you Monday on Thursday since that's when I get paid? I agreed. Like I said, I'd met this girl. We had mutuals. I knew her family. I trusted her. Thursday came around and Elle posted on Facebook that she took a spontaneous trip to Florida with her best friend. I asked if she was going to pay me, and she said she'd give me cash when she got back since she didn't have Venmo. Elle returns from vacation and I text her again asking if she has my money. She says she's been laid off from her job, but she'd borrow money from her mom and pay me that weekend. That weekend comes, no word from her. I text her again and she says she needs a bit longer, but she promises she's good for the cash and she's sorry for how long it's taken. The event arrives and still nothing. Elle attends the 4-day festival, but upon her return I hear no word. She sends me a text saying she's babysitting for cash and to please understand because she's struggling to even put gas in her car. She says if she pays me, then she won't have money to take care of her kid. As I mentioned, I'm 20, I have bills to pay too. It's been a month and a half now and Elle still hasn't paid me a penny. She says I'm being selfish for asking her for money when she has a kid to feed. I want to request a civil standby. Officer accompanies me to reclaim my property. I can't afford to lose this money, but I don't actually want to put her through court. I feel I may be the a-hole since she has a child to care for, but I also feel like I don't owe her anything, especially since I already gave her a discount of $300 and I have expenses too.
Damn.
Okay, so what do you think? Is she the a-hole or is she not the a-hole? This one's
Did you
kind of
finish
hard.
the story?
Yeah.
I think this one's really, really hard because it's understandable on both sides.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you commit with something, I've always think that no matter what, you have to show, even if you can't pay it at the time, you have to prove it, right? You can't just not show up, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah. Plus,
and
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I know she's a mother, she had a kid, but she did go on like other things. Like if you're willing to like oh no, this person gave me a discount, or even if she didn't know that it was a discount, it was a gift. Like you were able to do something because of your friend.
Yeah. Plus, also the girl went on another trip to Florida, and it doesn't say
But
where they live, but
that's understandable because the other person could have paid for that trip.
yeah,
But that's not by the timing. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
I have to focus on repaying that person.
yeah,
At least that's what I think. And I would say depending on who you view, but on my opinion, it's like very if I'm waiting to for somebody to pay me, it's like okay, like I understand
yeah.
depending on your situation, and but a deal's a deal, and if you don't, I feel like you're kind of more. This one's a little bit more kind of the whole.
So you think that the person that gave the discounted tickets is the a-hole?
Yeah, I think I just went all over the mic. That's why. Did you see that? Damn. My bad, guys.
So you think the person writing this, the one that gave the discounted tickets, is an a-hole? Or you think the other person is the a-hole?
The other person.
Okay, so you think
Most likely. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying it's like.
okay, but what about the person that wrote this? The one that gave the discounted tickets?
No, I don't think they're just doing something that they thought generous from their heart. And no.
Yeah. I'm going to agree. I'm going to say well, I mean it's hard. It's really difficult because like Yan said, there's two sides to the story and they're both understandable.
We've both been in that situation.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm going to agree with saying that the person writing this is probably not an a-hole because one, she was already giving them at a discount. She paid $600. This girl is 20 years old. She paid $600 for tickets for a 4-day event. She was selling them for $450 originally.
She probably didn't even ask her the other friend.
Yeah.
Supposedly, probably didn't even ask her mom.
Yeah. So yeah, so as I was saying, like she bought them for $600. She was already selling them for $450. And she sells it to her friend for $300. That's like she's losing $300
Yeah.
on like
On top of it.
yeah. So I feel like the person writing this is not an a-hole. However, Reddit has dubbed her the a-hole.
No.
Yeah. And we'll see here. It's mostly from like what it looks like. It's mostly because she's trying to scare the person into paying them by bringing up like a police officer with her while she's asking for the money.
Damn.
That is mostly why, not because of like the whole story situation, which I kind of agree, but at the same time, she's been contacting them. I mean, we don't know like the difference in time from when she bought the tickets to when the event was actually happening. So we don't know how long it's taken this girl messaging and messaging and messaging to know.
Yeah. You don't know.
You know what I mean? Like we don't know the amount of time that this girl has to message the friend asking her for the money back. So I mean at that point, what else can you do, right?
It's 50-50.
Yeah, like what else can you do besides like maybe having like mutual friends go with her first besides having an officer, but
I'd say that the other one's mostly because she's like she knows that she's a mom and stuff, but as a mother you have to be more responsible for those responsibilities. No, you can't just put oh I'm a mother
yeah.
as an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like you have a mom who can most likely lend you the money. This one commenter said, "Don't do the scare tactic, but do file a small claim suit against her. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, she needs to learn a lesson. The whole boo-hoo, I'm a single mother, I have medical bills is nothing but crybaby entitlement. She shouldn't have agreed to pay for festival tickets if she can't afford to feed her kid. Give me an effing break. Seriously, That's the dumbest thing I've heard in a long time, and so appalling that you should give a F about her problems. She's being selfish, manipulative, and irresponsible. JC, I don't know what JC means in this context, but JC, it's not like she stole bread from their supper. She wanted to go to a completely optional slash recreational event. Wow. Huge. She's a huge a-hole. So this one says that they're not an a-hole. So let's see which a comment that says that she is, to see their side of the story. So I'm not sure why Reddit has put that this person is an a-hole when all of these people are saying that they're not an a-hole.
Oh.
Everyone's saying NTA, which is not the a-hole. She's a scammer, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. She can go to Florida, go to the festival, but not give you anything at all. BS, not the a-hole.
Well, I feel like the concept of this story makes the friend more guilty than it is the person that's about the story. But we don't know how it is. You know what I'm saying? The other friend should not have said yes. If that's for sure, that if you can't, you know what I'm saying? That's just adding more pressure to you.
Yeah.
So for that, I think that's pretty much what it is, and I think that they are not an a-hole.
Yeah.
It's just a part of life, and some people can pay, some people can't pay, and I just feel she just got scammed probably.
Yeah.
By that. Is
And
there
it
any
sucks too
update?
because they're friends. There wasn't one put on the post, but let's see. So the writer wrote on a comment like the one that I just wrote, that I just read. It says, I agree. After reading the comments that I shouldn't scare her anymore. I do want to say your comment made me realize just how ridiculous she sounded. So thank you for that. However, I don't want a small claims judgment to show up on a background or credit check for her in the future, especially since she does have a kid. I can see that I've been hustled, but I don't have ill wishes against her. I just wanted to try to get my money back without hurting her record. So, even there, like, the person writing this is really nice.
Yeah. Well, that's life. Sometimes you get scammed and you are the scammer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're the a-hole and sometimes you're not.
Yeah. So, both of these stories, they were not the a-hole. So,
Alright, guys, that is it for us on this episode. Thank you for watching if you're watching on YouTube.
thank you for listening if you guys are listening to us on the audio platforms.
Yeah. So, guys, we have a little quick update on Facebook. We're not sure if we're gonna keep discussions with Yiangie on Facebook anymore because we are moving it more strictly on YouTube. We want to grow that YouTube channel as well. It's one of the main reasons. But we are moving our channel from the Yiangie to...
I thought we were doing that in the next episode.
We are, but we can say the name.
Okay. So we are changing the channel Yiangie to Crime to the Core and Lights, Camera, Arrest. Woo!
Yeah.
So excited. We will give you guys more details in the next episode.
Yeah, guys. So that's gonna be on Facebook. That's gonna be our responsibility on Facebook because we started YouTube and Facebook back then. We would do videos separately for YouTube, separately for Facebook. We noticed that YouTube keeps liking those videos.
Yeah.
What we've noticed is that our audience on Facebook likes strictly
Niched videos, I would
niche
say.
videos. You know,
Yeah.
It's not like TikTok. It's not like
YouTube.
or Instagram.
Yeah.
It is its own thing. And in order for us to even be there, we have found something that we're both like, or
Yeah.
I like to hear it and she loves to talk about it.
Yes.
So it was either that or soccer or wrestling. And I don't want to get involved in wrestling right now.
No.
Soccer would be depending on like we would have to depend on watching on the days and what if we're busy.
Yeah.
So
But this is something obviously you guys can kind of put two and two together from the title, from the titles. But this is something that we don't have to watch continuously to know what is going on or to be able to speak about it.
yeah.
Like we would for soccer or for wrestling.
Yeah. I will do a Barcelona channel soon, but not right now. So I'm planning on that. So I'm just giving my little seeds there.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Okay, guys, thank you all for watching and listening. Until then, I'm John.
And I'm Angie.
And this is
Discussions with
Yangie.
Yiangie.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye for now.